This is what $100 gets you in Lisbon, Portugal. From iconic pastries to stunning sunsets, Lisbon has been known as one of the best digital nomad locations in 2024. And in this video, we're gonna uncover the hidden gems of Lisbon, why it's so popular, and what you can do in this beautiful city. In the past few years, Lisbon has been at the top of many digital nomad ranking sites. It's a great place to come for nomads and travelers, and anyone who wants to experience history and affordability in a great and beautiful city. Today, we're going to be exploring some of the best things to do in Lisbon, all within a $100 budget. First stop is the famous Pastries de Belém, home to the original Portugal custard tarts. These iconic pastries are only a few pounds each, and they're worth every cent. The great thing about these pastries is that you get to taste history with every bite. So this is the original Pastries de Belém. We just bought the original and one of the donuts. So it's definitely busy. We got in line when it wasn't too busy actually, but you can see the line goes all over there. So it's quite a busy, popular place. How is it?
For me, it's kind of like regular egg tart, but just make special because this is the original.
Yeah, tastes similar, but tastes not too bad. The next stop you need to check out is the LX Market. It's one of Lisbon's coolest hotspots, and you can find many unique treasures here without breaking the bank. You can also find lots of good cafes and food stalls. The cool part about the LX factory is that yes, this used to be a factory, so everything was built inside of an old factory. Now it has modern charm, and it's been turned around into a shop and market with so many cool vendors and many cool pastries and shops as well. So they have an inside portion and an outside portion here of this street, and all the way down the street behind me and in front of me is just really unique stores, cafes, lots of restaurants, and there's a nice bookstore you can go to as well. So it's definitely a place you can come get some food, nice cafes. As you can see over here, it's like a cantina one. There's been Mexican places, there's been tacos, bakeries, so yeah, quite an interesting place. Lots of people come here for photographs, but also just a great place to walk around here, especially on a weekend, as you can see. And it's right under this nice bridge, so you get such a cool perspective of the city. Some of my favorite spots in the LX Market were definitely the bookstore, which has a few floors of books, and it's just very beautiful inside. Lots to see, and especially if you love books, there's all kinds of books here. Portuguese books, you got American books, and European books. It's a really cool store to check out. And then the next place that you also have to check out, it's a little bit hidden. It's on the back side of the factory, but it is a sardine store. I've never seen a sardine store like this before, because Portugal is really famous for sardines. So they have literally hundreds of different sardines in here. So I've never seen a sardine shop like this fancy. It's really crazy. There's all these different kinds of sardines, from smoked salmon, codfish, and they have a whole menu here. This is quite interesting. Another stop you will definitely want to check out is Lisbon's most iconic landmarks. This is called the Praça de Comercial. It's completely free to explore, and the views are amazing. It's a big square in the middle of Lisbon where you can walk around, taking great views of the ocean and the city, and it's a great place for photos. You can also sometimes see street performers here and different people selling different things. There's also the tram cars that are great to check out because they stop here at this location as well. And talking about tram cars, you're definitely gonna have to take a ride ride on one of Lisbon's tram cars. The cool thing about Lisbon's tram cars is that it's one of the only cities left in the entire world that has active tram cars that even the locals still take. And it's super cool because you can take these trams around the city and stop at different tourist stops. Now, sometimes dependent on your location, there definitely can be a queue for these trams, but the great thing is that they're not expensive. If you don't take the touristy ones and you take the regular street trams, it's only a few euros per person. So it's a very affordable way to see the city and also experience some fun as well, because these trams go down and up hills in some of the most scenic areas of Lisbon. So we just arrived here in Lisbon at the very nice area here. Got some coffee, got some bagels, and a very touristic area. There's like a monument here, very old buildings. And what's so cool is that the cable car here is one of the only ones left still in Europe that's still running, kind of like San Francisco. So before going any further into the video, I wanted to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Get Your Guide. Get Your Guide is a fantastic platform that you can use to book any experiences you want around the world, in different countries, in different cities, and there is so much to choose from on this platform. The great thing is they have something for everyone, in most cases in every budget as well. Get Your Guide is completely free to sign up and use until you book an experience, and it's an overall great platform to use, especially if you're new to a city. You can find local experiences there, you can do activities that you wouldn't have found anywhere else, and again, it's completely free to sign up, so definitely check it out. Book an experience on Get Your Guide, as we did. We booked our sunset cruise tour on Get Your Guide, and it was one of our favorite experiences that we had in Lisbon. So yeah, check it out, and hopefully it helps you out. Now, let's talk about some of the nomad activities and why Lisbon has constantly ranked as one of the top nomad cities in Europe. The first one is, of course, it's affordable. It's not very affordable like you would compare in Bali or Thailand. Don't expect to get $1 meals or anything like that, but you definitely can enjoy some really good food for under 15 euros per person, under 10 euros in some cases, and also even to get around, it's very affordable. So this is Miradore de Sante Monte. I don't know if I got that name right exactly, but it is a beautiful view here in Lisbon. And as you see, you can see all the way over here to the castle, to the ocean, to the bridge, the whole downtown here, the whole city. That's just what it looks like right there. As you can see, pretty busy area. From our experience, Ubers were only a few dollars in most times, in most places. The food was very affordable, especially for some of the smaller cafes. And also just getting around the city is quite easy. Depending on where you stay, it is also very walkable. And the good thing is too, there's a lot of cafes that are good for co-working, that are good to meet new people. So Lisbon can be a great place for nomads. Another thing that is worth mentioning is that depending on when you go, and actually all year, the weather can be spectacular. People often compare it to the California of Europe because of the temperature, because of the vibe, and in many cases, because of the people and the entrepreneurship people that are here. Not all cafes are good for working, and some cafes even tell you you cannot sit there because they're not for co-working spaces, so that was quite interesting. Also, sometimes it can be hard to find a good place to work with fast Wi-Fi, and here are a few locations that are good for that. Usually Starbucks is always consistent, and there's a few other cafes in different areas that can have good Wi-Fi, so you definitely have to check that out. But overall, you can usually find a place to work from, and it's also very easy to get there. The great thing about Lisbon too, it has many different areas depending on what you're looking for. You can stay by the ocean, you can stay by the beach, you can even stay in the center of the city. And it really depends on your budget, because in many areas you will find way different price range. For example, you stay in the heart of downtown, it's going to be very expensive, you're not going to be really saving that much money. But if you stay on the outside of Lisbon in different areas, we stayed in a very local area actually, and it was quite affordable. And depending on how far you want to commute, you can definitely have a good price for your budget. Overall, the great thing about Lisbon is that we spent under $100 a day, basically. Sometimes we didn't even spend $100 a day. We spent maybe $50 or less per person. So it's very affordable. What's the most expensive is going to be your accommodation and, of course, your transit. But food is not too bad. The groceries were very affordable, a few euros for some food and groceries, and you're good to go. And overall, the experiences were not that expensive compared to what I was expecting to pay. For most tourist activities, you can expect to pay between 5 and 25 euros per person, so it depends on what you want to do, but you can still see a lot for a budget. Now, another thing you will want to do to end your day in Lisbon is to check out a sunset cruise. Now, there are many sunset cruises around Lisbon. And the great thing is you can choose which fits your price the best. There's many tour companies, and we personally booked ours on Get Your Guide, where you can choose different price ranges and different experience depending on your budget. And it wasn't that expensive. It was about 25 euros per person, and you get drinks included in your package as well, so that's definitely quite nice. I'll share the link of the one that we went to, but there are also more luxurious ones you can go to. More private ones, you can take yachts if you prefer, and you can take private tours with only the two of you or your family and friends. So it depends on what you want to see, but in the end, you still see the beautiful view. You see the stunning bridge and the bay, and you see amazing views of Lisbon from both sides. Usually the most popular tours start right about as sunset starts to begin, so in the early evening, and then you sail around the bay for a few hours, enjoy some drinks. Sometimes they have music and dance parties actually on the boat, which was a quite fun experience. And then at the end of it, you return to your original point where you started. So if you're looking for something fun to do to add to your Lisbon trip, it's a great thing to do, and it's very affordable too as well. Now, when you are booking your Airbnb or hotel in Lisbon, here are a few things that are worth considering. And it is definitely worth to explore the area on Google Maps before you book anything. And that's how we found out the hard way too as well. We stayed in an area just outside of Lisbon called Amadora. Now, while the accommodation was pretty good and the people were friendly, it was very difficult and far away from the center of Lisbon. From Amadora to the center of Lisbon, it's going to take you at least a 25 to 40 minute car ride, Uber ride to be exact. And you can also take other ride-sharing services, but Uber is definitely one of the best and cheapest in Lisbon. However, you can also stay in other areas that are much better, such as Almada, which is across the bridge. You can stay in the center of Lisbon, of course, or by the airport. Those areas should be much better than the Amadora area that we stayed in. However, the closer that you get to the actual city center, the more it's going to cost you. And rent prices are not cheap. Definitely expect to pay a few thousand euros per month, and it's definitely rising. Lisbon is not the place it used to be compared to how the price used to be. So it is definitely getting up there. It's pretty expensive if you stay in the heart of Lisbon. However, if you stay across the bridge in Almada, in Amadora, or in some other areas, you will find that it's much more cost effective. There is public transit and some trains. We never took any of the public transit trains. We only took the trams in the center of Lisbon. And the trams are quite nice, but they don't really get you too far away, so you definitely have to consider that. But they do have buses and they do have trains, but it's not the most convenient, it's not the best developed public transit system in Europe, so you're definitely going to be taking a car most places that you go, especially if you want to go outside of the city. So there you have it. That is what $100 can get you in Lisbon, and what you can see and do and explore in this beautiful European city. Now, living in Lisbon might not be for everyone, but if you're looking to explore new cultures, save a little bit of money, enjoy a beautiful climate, and also taste some of the best egg custard tarts that you've ever had before, Lisbon is definitely worth checking out. It definitely was an experience for us that we really enjoyed, and we would definitely come back to Lisbon, learning from what we have done in the first time and making our plans even better for the second time. So go check it out and see for yourself, and hopefully we'll see you there in Lisbon.